Welcome back to the Other Side of 45 podcast. I'm your host, Randi Black. This is a special series that I'm starting with my oldest daughter, and it's a way for me to tackle some political issues outside of my regular podcast. My daughter of course, was raised by me, but she's a Gen Z and has her own opinion. So we're going to talk about things from a Gen Z, Gen X point of view. She's picked some topics, I'll pick some topics. So we're going to do this series during the summer. So my regular podcast will only air every other week, and this new series will air also every other week. So you'll get a new podcast every week. Hopefully you'll enjoy this series. And if you have some topics you want us to talk about, send it in. So since this is our first episode, we're just flying by the seat of our pantyhose, which I don't actually wear. I wear socks.
I wear pantyhose.
I got compression socks on right now because I just got off from work. But anywho, we're just going to wing it and we'll polish it up later. So welcome to our first episode. I kind of wanted to call it Gen X versus Gen Z, or X versus Z. I mean, we're not against X versus Z. It is. All right. So my, do you want me to tell them your name?
Bougie Canvas.
All right, Bougie Canvas. That is her IG handle on Instagram, so go check her out. So she picked the first topic. You want to start off what we talking about today? What's on your mind, little girl?
So this topic, literally, when I tell you, I decided to we wanted to talk about this literally 15 minutes ago. So I was on TikTok and had seen a video of two black men discussing as a podcast, discussing how did black men and black women start? How did we get into a gender war? And I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of male podcasts.
The misogynist
podcasts.
Like them idiots that fit in whatever they call themselves.
I like to call them fabulous podcasts.
But
so when I saw that video, it really made me think. And a lot of times when I see videos by specific demographics, I usually don't listen to them because it's usually something hatred, like the manosphere or anti-feminist. And I am a feminist. This is a feminist family. So a lot of times I don't take the time to actually listen to what they said. But today I took the time to listen to what was said.
First mistake.
Anyway,
this what being a Gen X come in. I don't waste my time with foolishness. You do. And that's okay.
I don't think it's foolish. Because if I hadn't seen this video, then it would not have made me think about the issues in the black community.
I, first of all, didn't know this was an issue in the black community. And I do have some listeners who are not African American. I am going to encourage you to stick around and listen to this conversation.
Especially if you say you're an ally.
Girl, please. It's a really interesting conversation. She showed me the video. It doesn't give a lot of details, but please, Sweet Pea, go on.
Yeah, so the video itself does not give a lot of details, but the video did make me think. Why is there a gender war in the black community?
So tell them what the video said, though, because they don't know what you're talking about.
No, they don't. Okay, so let me pull the video. So basically...
play it. We can play it. It's a podcast. We do what we want to.
Okay.
Girl.
Let me play it.
Is it loud enough?
Slaves just with us, bro. Yeah. These were the same women who was out there in the plantation with us. Like when we was getting whipped and we had to go back to the slave quarters, these were the same women who was nursing us back to health. How the fuck did we get to the point that we are... If anybody had a gender war, how did black men and black women have a gender war? Yeah. Like, that shit is crazy to me. Like, with all the shit that's collectively against us, the fact that we fighting each other is fucking wild to me.
So they don't say a lot, but it did make me think, how did we get into a gender war? So obviously the root of the gender war, because there is a gender war, there have been videos, there have been comedy shows of black men degrading black women, and black women have said, enough, we're done. We're not going to go hard for you if you're not going to respect us. You know, respect goes both ways, and black women have said enough. But how did we get to this point where we've said enough and black men are just outright disrespecting us, but still expecting us to fight for them?
Okay, so I'm going to interject on this tomfoolery. What? I didn't say you. I'm just saying the whole situation is tomfoolery, because it is. Because let me tell you, I'm long in it too, and you don't even know what that means.
No, okay.
But those who know, y'all know what long in it too
means.
That means I'm Gen X and you not. That's what it means. Unbelievable. Okay, so this is how I feel about what they said. That video, I'm gonna tell you, to me, it wasn't enough.
It wasn't, but
what you just said about this trend, I will tell you this. I don't like social media as much as I should, especially being a person who produces content. I got to work on that. You're going to have to help me this summer. But I agree with you. There has been a sickening trend of black men putting black women down. It's like, bruh, what the heck?
Yeah.
What did somebody hurt you and you have completely given up on all of us? You and I were talking about this the other day, when people say stupid stuff like that, and it's not just black men, it's anybody who will use one person or two people or the 10 people that you know of that race, and you make an entire decision that the whole race, based on your little few interaction with these 10 people, makes you believe that those 10 people represent everybody in that entire race. That gets under my skin like no other.
Because my thing is, if you meet 10 people and you always have a bad interaction, a lot of times the problem is probably you.
It's you.
If people are that negative around you or have that much attitude around you, then you are saying or doing something to make them have an attitude with you. So it's not that the problem is black women or the problem is
it's you.
Yeah.
I tell you, give my number. It's you. You the problem. It's you.
But back to what I was saying about the gender wars. How did we get to this point? And I feel like the obvious answer to that would be white supremacy. And the reason why I say that is because white supremacy is built on hatred, it's built on prejudice, it's built on racism, obviously, but their whole their idea is united we stand, divided we fall. And if we can get black men to hate black women and black women to say enough and stop fighting for black men, then it's a lot easier to bring us down. It's a lot easier to take us out. Because if you think that just because it's 2022 that white supremacy has taken a back seat and said, you know what, we're done with white supremacy, we're not going to try to destroy communities, they haven't. And I feel like a lot of the problems with these gender wars is black people, because it's not just black men, it's black people in general. A lot of times we take white supremacy and we don't realize that's white supremacy. It's so embedded into this country and it's so embedded into our community that a lot of times when we say stuff, we don't realize that these are white supremacists. These are white supremacist values. And what I mean is, I'll give you an example. An example would be like these Fit Fab and Fabulous podcasts.
Idiots.
Now, I don't watch their podcasts, but I do see their videos on my For You page or on Instagram.
Me too.
So I'll see little clips, and a lot of things that they say would be a woman has to be submissive to a man. And a lot of, not just men, but a lot of women believe that you have to be submissive to a man. But my thing is, submissiveness came from white supremacist values. So when black men tell us, and I'm focusing on black men, I'm not, because I know it's like multiple, like a lot of men who think this way, but I'm focusing more specifically on black men because you can't say that you are pro-black, but then force white supremacist values onto the black community and then wonder why it's not working.
But see, that's just what I was saying. They don't recognize that it is white supremacy ideology. White supremacists believe, and in order for them to believe that they're superior, they have to put somebody else down. And to me, I do liken that to the headship arrangement, or women subjecting themselves to men, because just like the only thing white people have done is I'm talking about those who believe in white supremacy. So basically, all you're saying, because I was born white, that entitles me to this, and because you are not me, that means you belong here below me. That is the same tomfoolery that people believe in when they believe in the headship arrangement. I have done nothing to earn my place as head of this family but be born. Isn't that the same thing that white supremacists say? I was born white, therefore that means you who are not born white are inferior to me. Any man who believes that just because he was born with a you know what between his legs entitles him to be over somebody else, how are you not seeing that this is about the same thing? You have not earned it. You have not proven yourself. All you did was be born with a penis. That is not enough. And just like being born white does not make you supreme. Get it together.
But it's also like, and that's how it destroys the black community, because we have black men saying, you have to submit to me, and that's why you're not getting married, because they're operating on a white supremacist
platform. Yeah, that's the foundation. And
they don't black women are saying, well, I have a car, I have a job, I have this, I have that, and
education smarter than you.
All of these things. And no offense, some of y'all don't have that.
And even those who do.
And even those who do, it's like you're at the same level, or no offense, some of y'all might be a little below that level. Some of y'all don't have a car or like educated. And that's fine, life happens, but it's like you're telling somebody who has all of this stuff in place, and you're telling them, you need to submit to me. Why?
Because he was born male. That's nothing to be bragging about.
And if you, as a black man, I really want black men who are listening to this, I want you to hear what I'm saying. I want you to listen. I want you to digest.
This coming from a Z, but she is my child.
Anyway, I want you to digest what I'm about to say. Don't try to like respond or answer in your head, or like in like public conversations, just say just answer because you think it's offensive. Answer me this, okay? If a white person were to come up to you, because a lot of times black men will use the excuse that like back in the day, women used to do cook, clean, and this, and it's because they couldn't, because it was illegal, and because they had to stay at home, take care of the kids. If a white man were to come to you today and tell you, I want you to be my slave, or I want you to do this for me, and you say why, obviously why. And he said, because you're a black man. And that's black people in the past, y'all were slaves. And that's true. Black people were slaves. If you would be offended if a white person were to tell you, you have to do X, Y, and Z because your ancestors did X, Y, and Z, and it was legal at that time. If you were to be offended, why do you not think black women would be offended when you say, because in the 50s, women cooked and cleaned and took care of the kids, so it's natural for you to do that? Why do you need to understand, why do you think that it's all right for you to say that to a black woman, to say she needs to be submissive because it used to be this way, but it wouldn't be okay if a white man were to come up to you and tell you
to do what your ancestors used to do? Let me tell you something. When you know better, you're supposed to do better. And this is the thing. This is heartbreaking for me. I want to bring up that video bougie canvas that you and I just watched about these incels and how the rise of violence coming from these people who are in this manosphere. And I'm not trying to beat up the manosphere. Yeah, I am. I was
gonna say I am. I don't care.
It's disgusting.
It is,
but
this is anti-feminist.
You're anti. These anti-feminists, honey. This is an actual. My daughter here shared the video. We just watched it. I encourage you to research this. We watched it on YouTube, but you can get anywhere. CBS, look up the CBS report on incels. And it is coming from this manosphere, these anti-feminists, that they are now considered terrorists. This group. Country. So if you are a man of color, I'm not just going to say black man, or any man who is not racist, and you subscribe to this, I want you to look up this video. Because the Secret Service?
Yes,
it was a Secret Service. Yeah. I said FBI. I meant Secret Service. They're studying. They are liking this group to terrorists because they have seen an increase in violence against women because they're anti-feminist. Now, I'm not saying that if you subscribe to this foolish ideology that you're going to end up being a terrorist and attack women. What I'm saying to you is you're supporting a group where the Secret Service is looking into and saying dangerous, no different as if you are a man of color or a man who's melanin challenged and you are against white supremacy, but you follow this ideologies from this manosphere, you are supporting this mess. Look, dig deep. Find out what you support, man. Come on, get it together. But as far as this gender war that I did not know existed, but did see this trend on TikTok,
it's not because and I haven't looked it up. I'm probably gonna look it up later because it really fascinated me when I saw that video that they were saying there's a gender war in the black community. It's like when you think about it, it is a gender war because when we ask black comedians to stop using black women as the butt of the joke, do you know what they do? They laugh and they continue to use
they turn it up. They turn it up.
Then there's videos of black men, saying why they hate black women so much, and then we have these podcasts Lord, Devil Samuels who
did you say Devil Samuels?
Listen, I'm not going to give these people free advertisement.
He did.
I don't care. I do not care. But when you subscribe to these black men, and sometimes black women, I don't see a lot of black women doing this, but I'm not going to pretend like they aren't out there because they also hurt the black community when they do this. But when you subscribe to these podcasts, whether you're making these podcasts or whether you believe in these podcasts or you believe in some of these, just support these podcasts. You are not only supporting domestic terrorists, but you are also helping bring down the black community because you cannot, and I will die on this hill. I don't care.
You got your boots on?
Yep, I got my boots on. I will die on this hill.
Die.
You cannot be pro-black, but also believe that black women should be submissive. I'm not saying that you can't be in a relationship with a woman and she be submissive. That's not what I'm saying. Because these podcasts are saying that women need to naturally be submissive, that we're masculine if we're submissive. Because if we're not submissive, my bad. If we're not submissive, because to me, you cannot be a pro-black person and believe in these white supremacist ideas. Because when you say that, you are feeding into white supremacy. White people use that women can I don't even know about this, but
they disable the freedom of women until women fought back. Let me tell you something. What we are doing right now, we are fighting back. Black women are fighting back. And we're saying heck freaking no to this tomfoolery coming from these the late Kevin Samuels followers.
Not great.
We are saying heck freaking no. Just like women did when they had enough of being told what they can and cannot do, what they can and cannot vote, they can and cannot. No, they say heck freaking no, and black women are saying to you, black men, heck freaking no. Get it to freaking together. We are not the one.
Mm-mm.
This is not going to end well for you, black men. And it's also, just not. Just like white supremacy is dwindling, even though we are seeing headlines where these white nationalists are literally gunning our community down. I do believe that there are more allies than not.
Yeah.
I really do believe that. I know lots of great allies. They keep me sane, because if I didn't believe there were allies, waking up every day in this country would be even more difficult than it already is. So I have to believe that this white supremacy is dying down, which brings up other topics that we are absolutely going to discuss on this podcast, like this Roe v. Wade. I only mentioned a very smidgen of it on my Mother's Day podcast. I didn't want to get into it, but she and I are going to have a deep dive on that and other really deep things that we're going to talk about on this special series this summer. Anything else you want to say about it?
Yeah, so before we end it, there is something I want to say. So the whole point of this episode, it started with the question was, why is there gender war in the Black community? And I just want to sum it up and say why there is. Like, I know, like, we just discussed it for about over 20 minutes, but I just want to sum it up so you can understand why there is a gender war in the Black community. It's because these podcasts that y'all listen to, these comedians and these Black celebrities that y'all follow that disrespect Black women or believe that Black women should be submissive to their man, it's because these are white supremacist ideas. That's why there is a gender war. You can't, like I said, you can't be pro-Black and believe in this ideology. You can't believe in the white supremacist ideology and expect for this community to get further. If we're trying to fight white supremacy, we cannot listen to white supremacist values and ideas. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you want the gender war to stop, and if you're pro-Black, if you believe in the manosphere, whether you're man or woman, you believe in the idea that it's natural for a Black woman or just a woman to be submissive, take the time to understand why you believe that. Take the time to understand where this idea came from. And a lot of time you'll see that this will circle right back to white supremacy. And that is why the Black community, one of the reasons why, there's many reasons why, but one of the reasons why I believe there's a gender war in the Black community and why
you can't adopt white supremacist ideas and darken it up. Okay, brother?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
You just can't do it.
I guess that's like the short version of it. So she want to cut me off.
Girl,
I guess
I
was
rambling.
Yeah, I was rambling.
Yeah,
but yeah, I feel like y'all get the point. And if you don't, I need you to educate yourself and re-listen to this podcast.
Or you could just ask for clarification, girl.
Oh yeah, you could.
This child.
You know what? I feel like, yeah. Anyway. But yeah,
I'm not with this girl. So yeah, this is our first series, first episode. We are gonna get it together. I love the conversation. And this is my child, so you know how she thinks. So we're gonna wrap this up by saying, I'm not gonna end it with my Mary J. Blige song. I gotta find a song for the ending of this. We're gonna look for a song. So what we're just gonna say is, follow us on Instagram, the other side. It is not that. Okay. It's the other side of 45. Don't do that on Instagram.
I was gonna say that should be a song. Brown sugar.
We gonna work on that. It's not gonna be brown sugar. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Brown sugar. Like,
stop saying that.
I'm about to look at. I'm about to show you.
Let
me play it real quick.
No.
Yep.
Wait.
No. Wait. No.
On the other side of 45
no. Wait. No.
Next week.
Wait. I want to play.
Follow us on Instagram. And follow her on Bougie Canvas on Instagram. I'm cutting it off. I'm not doing that.